Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 16, Chapter 3, Toward Rebuilding, Part 3. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the Tensura Light Novel. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
The moderator, Testarossa, told me to go on, so I did. Well, as I said before, I beat Velgrynd and then asked her a lot of questions about what happened. That's when I found holes in her story. I thought Emperor Rudra wasn't quite himself, so I watched Velgrynd until I found out the awful truth. I won't go into too much detail, but it turned out that she was being dominated in her thoughts. Michael, the deliberate intent of Emperor Rudra's skill, was the culprit, of course. Wait. Well, I'll answer your questions later. Listen, Rimuru. It's true that I shouldn't be acting this way, but now is not the time to worry about that. You mean what? How could you omit such important information? How can there be a skill so mean that it can control even Velgrynd-sama? And what did you say just now? Will of a skill? I have never heard of anything like that. What do you know about this, Jane? No, I've also never heard of it. Please, everyone, stay calm. When it comes to King Gazel's questions. Okay. I'll explain. Rimuru-sama, do you think that's okay? Yes. Only a few significant individuals from each nation are present anyway. Even if they did, it wouldn't be a big deal because I don't believe they'll reveal the secret casually. There was nothing particularly bad about telling people about the Monas. The only secret I had to keep to myself was that seal existed. I'm sorry, Rimuru. I'm grateful that you did this. His tone had changed once more, sounding as though he had given up on making things better. I felt much better, so I went right into what I was going to say. Then I told him that because Emperor Rudra was so exhausted, his ultimate skill, just as King Michael, had become Monas Michael because it had grown in ego. As far as I could tell, I revealed its heinous abilities. Ultimate skill. So, you're saying that unique level powers won't work on someone who has it? In a strict sense, no. The strength of a skill depends on how strong a person's will is. Even at the unique level, there are some skills that reach the ultimate level, but they are rare. Also, special techniques called arts, which show how strong your will is, can lead to attacks that can reach the highest level. Gazel King could probably do it, in my opinion. Is that true? Magic is the same, too. Magic is a skill and an art, so depending on the user's willpower, they may be able to defeat even those who possess the ultimate skill. Jiwoo and Bernie should know what I'm talking about, right? Those two had been beaten by Diablo, so they should have known what I was talking about. They both nodded strongly when I asked them. I couldn't tell what Diablo was thinking because of the sickeningly intoxicated look on his face. He wasn't thinking well at all, and I was tempted to speak something to him, but he was just standing there quietly, so I decided to ignore it. Shion then said, I guess I should also get an ultimate skill. You know that it's called the ultimate because it's hard to get, right? But I had a feeling Shion could do it. I put that out of my mind because it seemed a little frightening. Well, that's about how things are. Michael has special powers that let him control the angelic system of skills in any way he wants. So Velgrynd couldn't fight back, and he had her in his power without her even knowing it. It looks like Lieutenant Kondu was also under the control of his skill, but in the end, he broke free of the spell and gave his will to our Carrera. What, even that information-gathering monster was. I can't believe it, but I'm not so stupid as to doubt His Majesty Rimuru. I see. Demrata-sama, then. Yeah. He may have realized there was something wrong with His Majesty the Emperor, in my opinion. From the Imperial side, there was some noise, but not enough to stop what I was saying. It was a mistake to have done this, but it was too late to care about it at this point, so I would just move on. It is also known what Michael's goal was. It is to bring back to life Veldanava, his true master and creator. Nonsense! The shouts ran into each other, making it hard to tell who was talking. No, I did know, but pointing it out wouldn't have helped. I'm not going to blame the Imperial side for the war because I know it was all because of Michael's dominance. If they want to keep fighting us in the future, They can. At this point, I stopped and looked at Masayuki and the other people. Masayuki was not bothered at all. He was so unaware of what was going on that it was almost admirable. They had no chance of winning, and there was no reason to keep fighting. They knew that, which is why they acted the way they did. Seems like everything was fine. I don't think you want to do that. I have also made peace with Velgrynd-san. Now that Michael, who is playing Rudra, has gone into hiding, we need to choose a new leader. Today's meeting was about that, so can you tell us more about it? After asking, I let Masayuki and the others continue the conversation. We needed to know what would happen to the Empire in the future so that we could all agree on what was going on. Gazel and the others were most worried about that, so I thought we should talk about it here and not keep anything from each other. Minutes. Yes. Minutes, would like to use this chance to explain myself. We have lost more than 2/3 of our forces, so we can't go to war again. We are ready to accept unconditional and total surrender, but there is one issue: there is no supreme commander. His Majesty Rimuru just said that finding a new leader is the most important thing. So today is the perfect time to ask our new emperor for his blessing. So that's what happened. Rimuru, am I to assume that your plans for my arrival today came to fruition? You got me. This isn't about the Empire and Tempest working together. Instead, it's about Tempest supporting the new emperor and helping the Empire build a strong base. Well, then, of course, Dwargon is joining, so it goes without saying that I should expect something in return, right? Whoa. How did we go from talking about how to show respect to the new emperor to speaking about establishing a foundation or something else completely unrelated? King Gazel's words give me a lot of hope. In return, we would like to meet your expectations as much as possible, as long as it doesn't go beyond what is acceptable for both countries. Please don't worry about that. Gazel seems to have agreed, so it was my turn. Rimuru and Velgrynd both looked at me, so I nodded and started to speak. I agree, too. And I promise to do everything I can to give full support, no matter what. I had always planned to help Masayuki, but if I really thought about it, that would mean helping him as a whole country. We wouldn't have to engage in armed conflict with them ever again if we could improve our relationship with them now by buying favors. Thank you again. I'm sure that will make His Majesty the Emperor happy. So, Masayuki-kun is the new emperor, right? Do you mind if I call you that? King Rimuru. Oh, it's not at all a problem. Can I still address you as Rimuru-san, in fact? Of course, Masayuki-kun. It's so hard to know what words to use in situations like this, isn't it? Rimuru-san. Rimuru-san has never been as dependable as he is right now, so I haven't been able to unwind until now. I've felt so suffocated these past few days. I don't know anything about proper behavior, so I'll just do what I want. Could I have everyone's attention, please? Our king, Rimuru-sama, would like the meeting to be less formal and more relaxed. We may all have different ideas, but I'm sure we can all see things from each other's points of view. Can we agree to keep meeting in a less formal way? There would be no opposition from the subordinate now that the kings had given their approval. The official talk was over, and now the real talks could start. Wow, that really helped me out. I thought about staying quiet the whole time. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, too. What does a country's leader do with that? Fufufu, Gazel boy says that, but he was the same way before. With time, effort, and experience, dignity and formality can be regained. Jane, there's no need to bring that up right now. It didn't take long to feel better after the tension was gone. I then casually posed the query that had been worrying me the most. However, will the Imperial people accept Masayuki's accession to the throne? Although it's okay with us, what about the people? Or do they have rights? In any case, if the people disagree, it's useless, right? Of course. It's totally crazy, isn't it? Ahem. Please take a moment to relax, Your Majesty. First of all, what will you do about the bloodline problem? He doesn't have any blood in common with Emperor Rudra, right? The nobles won't be happy if you don't safeguard the royal dynasty. No problem. According to the Imperial Code, Rudra and the Emperor are both recognized by Velgrynd, the guardian dragon of the Empire. Although some people would view this as a formality, it is actually the most crucial sentence. Yes. His Majesty Rudra has always come back as the first son of the wife, but there have been times in the long history of the Empire when arrogant people tried to get rid of their successors. The marshal here, Velgrynd-sama, was the one who exposed them and punished them. Well, His Majesty Rudra inherited it. Even without Velgrynd-sama's explanation, it would have become obvious to him as he grew older. Then why not say that Masayuki is an illegitimate child? That's impossible, Rimuru-sama. The records of Rudra are in the Senate. Even his DNA, not just his blood type. It's possible to make up a mother, but it would be impossible to say that Masayuki-sama is the son of His Majesty Rudra. Oh, so the Empire's technology has progressed to that point? Although Minute-san disapproved of it, I felt it was an excellent idea. Even so, I didn't know DNA testing was a thing in this world. What is DNA? Gazel asked me to explain, so I will. I've heard it's a big deal because back then there weren't any accurate ways to test it. You're right. Every time I had to decide something, it was a pain in the. Now that the genuine person had vanished, all that remained was Masayuki, the reincarnate who had forgotten himself. It was hard to prove that the soul is real, so no one else could have known that Masayuki was the real emperor. Since they both have the same look, wouldn't it be simpler for Masayuki to simply mimic Rudra in such situation? Rejected. I considered this to be a wise decision, but Velgrynd disagreed. Can I find out why? You don't forget how powerful Michael is, do you? Michael gets his power from the people who are loyal to him and to Rudra. So, wouldn't it be better to say Emperor Rudra is dead and take away his power? Oops. I did remember that, of course. Correct. It doesn't help to just act like he's dead, but Michael's power can be stopped if there is a new person to be loyal to. But Michael might have known this was going to happen and changed his power's target from Rudra to another person. I'm sure Michael would have done something to stop it, but it's better to do it than not. So, we won't have to talk about those things. I think you're right, so let's not worry about the details. Just say in my name that Masayuki is Rudra. So, no one will be able to fight back. Is it okay to you, Masayuki-kun? Shouldn't it work? Well, how do I say it? Masayuki, if you don't like it, there's no need to force yourself, right? I'll do it. I'm already being called a hero, so one more title won't make a difference. The news made Minute-san, Kalgurio, and the others happy. They seemed to think that the Empire needed a new symbol and a new leader in order to keep going. I agree with you that Masayuki is the right person for the job. With his skill, he would be able to get everyone's full support. Okay, so the next step is to make Masayuki the new emperor and move to make the claim stronger, right? When I told them I was sure, everyone except Masayuki gave a sharp nod of agreement. Masayuki gave a reluctant nod to show that he agreed. Despite how he looked, Masayuki was a responsible person. As soon as he took on the job, I knew he would finish it. Understood. Then we'll say that we approve. I will also promise to free the Imperial officers who are being held as war prisoners in our country right away. We won't blame them, but we won't give them any money either. How do you feel? We can talk about compensations after Masayuki has taken the throne and become the new emperor. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being so kind. I'm grateful. I also don't have a problem with this approach, but I do have one question. Masayuki Dano, you might be a hero now, but soon you will be an emperor. So, I'd like to ask, what values do you plan to use to bring your people, your subjects, together? Gazel looked at Masayuki with a look that seemed to see right through everything. When he sensed the aura, Masayuki winced and then opened his mouth after giving me a worried expression. Making a world where individuals can live with laughter, something like that, right? When I heard that, it made me laugh. Because he had the same thoughts as me. Yes, that's what matters most. You're right. I knew Rimuru-sama would say that. Of course, Masayuki-kun. However, Rudra merely teased me for being young and naive when I told him this, so I became concerned that I had been mistaken. But now I don't have to worry. It looks like I was always right. Great! I'd never been great at politics, so I didn't have any self-assurance. But now I'm proud to be an emperor. Right. Let's all do our best. Yes, I'm excited to work with you. Masayuki and I both laughed out loud at that. Enough already. Foo, Gazel, I understand your worry, but these people don't have any goals. But they're beginners, so you'll just have to show them the way and ensure they stay on the correct path. I know. I'm simply considering how challenging it will be to guide these individuals who discuss politics with such naive idealism. Well, don't worry so much, because I'm also studying, so everything will be fine. Really? First off, I don't intend to engage in much political activity. Masayuki, you should just leave the work to Minute-san and the others. You're right. I was going to do just that, but I wasn't sure if it was a good plan. I'm much happier about it now. Again, Masayuki and I laughed together. Well, you can do what you want. You're not alone. You can be responsible and grow with the people you work with. I'll assist you as well if I can. As for me, I don't have a problem with the plan that was made at this meeting. If the eastern lands are at peace, so will the rest of our country. I'll do what I can to help rebuild the area near the border. Thank you. Thank you, King Gazel. And just like that, everything went perfectly. From now on, future generations will look back on this day as the day the savior Emperor Masayuki Rudra Namal Nazca appeared.